Have you ever wondered why some investors are suddenly looking at silver with a mix of excitement and cautious curiosity? It's a metal that's been in human hands for thousands of years, used for coins, jewelry, and industrial purposes. But today, it's being talked about as something much more than just a shiny metal. Some experts suggest it could be the next big investment. But is that really the case, or is it just another wave of speculation? When you think about gold, it often steals the spotlight. It's the glamorous, time-tested haven during turbulent times. But silver? Silver quietly sits in the background, undervalued in comparison, waiting for its moment. Its story isn't about glittering allure alone. It's about the balance between history, industrial demand, and economic trends that could make it a unique player in your investment portfolio. Let's take a step back and look at silver not just as a commodity, but as a fascinating intersection of money, industry, and human behavior. Historically, silver has always been intertwined with wealth and trade. Civilizations from ancient Rome to Ming Dynasty China relied on it as currency. But silver is also practical. It's conductive, reflective, antibacterial, and essential in technologies we rely on every day. From solar panels to medical devices, it's embedded in our modern lives in ways we often don't notice. And this is where the intrigue begins. Unlike gold, which is largely held for investment, silver has this dual identity. It's both a store of value and an industrial metal. That means it's influenced by financial markets, but also by the ups and downs of manufacturing and technology. So when people talk about silver potentially being the next big investment, they're not just talking about scarcity, they're talking about its multifaceted role in a changing world. Now, consider the psychological aspect. Silver has always had the reputation for being the poor cousin of gold. Investors often flock to gold in times of uncertainty, while silver quietly moves under the radar. But some argue that this very underdog status could become a hidden opportunity. When markets are volatile, when inflation fears loom, and when people start seeking tangible assets beyond traditional stocks and bonds, silver can become the surprising alternative. There's another layer to this story. Global trends are pushing silver demand in unexpected directions. The push for renewable energy, particularly solar power, is creating a steady increase in industrial demand for silver. Photovoltaic cells, which convert sunlight into electricity, rely on silver for efficiency and conductivity. Some analysts suggest that as the world continues to invest in green technology, silver could become a critical commodity, not just a decorative or financial one. And yet, despite these signs, silver's price has historically been more volatile than gold. Its smaller market size makes it more susceptible to rapid swings. Investors who consider silver often face the challenge of navigating its unpredictable rhythm. But it's this volatility that also creates opportunity. Those willing to analyze trends and understand the factors driving both industrial and investment demand could find silver to be a compelling part of a diversified strategy. Let's pause for a moment to consider the broader economic context. In times of uncertainty, central banks around the world adjust policies, interest rates fluctuate, and currencies can lose value. In such moments, tangible assets like precious metals attract attention. Gold usually dominates these discussions, but silver, with its historical precedent and practical applications, can also become a safety net. Some reports suggest that in certain market conditions, silver can outperform gold in percentage gains, although with higher risk. Now, imagine the cultural and emotional dimensions of silver as an investment. Unlike paper money or digital assets, holding silver connects you to centuries of human history. There's a tangible, almost primal satisfaction in possessing something that has maintained value across eras, societies, and economic systems. For some, it's not just about financial returns. It's about having a physical, enduring asset in a world that feels increasingly digital and abstract. And here's an interesting twist. Silver often reacts differently to economic forces compared to gold. While gold is primarily influenced by investor sentiment and global uncertainty, silver responds more directly to supply and demand from industrial sectors. That means events in technology, manufacturing, and even geopolitics can have a profound impact on its price. For investors, this dual sensitivity can be both a challenge and an opportunity, a chance to capitalize on trends others might overlook. At this point, you might be wondering, if silver has all these advantages, why hasn't it become the star of the investment world yet? The answer lies in perception. Silver's volatility makes it less predictable. It's often overshadowed by gold in mainstream financial discussions. And because its industrial use ties its value to real-world economic activity, it doesn't always move in lockstep with investor expectations. Yet, those very factors can make it appealing to savvy investors who are willing to take a closer look. Midway through our journey into silver, let's consider another compelling factor: scarcity. Silver is finite, and its extraction is becoming increasingly challenging. Mines around the world are facing depletion, while demand continues to grow in industrial and investment sectors. Some projections suggest that as supply tightens and demand increases, silver's value could experience significant upward pressure. The notion that this metal might be undervalued compared to gold adds to the narrative that it could be the next big investment. But investing in silver isn't just about predicting market trends, it's about strategy. Physical silver, like coins or bars, carries different risks and benefits compared to silver ETFs or mining stocks. Physical silver offers tangible ownership, but it requires storage and security. ETFs provide easier access and liquidity, but are more abstract. Mining stocks can offer leverage to silver's price movements, but come with company-specific risks. Understanding these options is crucial for anyone considering silver as a serious investment. Another layer worth exploring is public sentiment and cultural influence. Social media, investor forums, and online communities have started to shine a light on silver as an alternative to conventional investments. These conversations can amplify interest, sometimes creating short-term price movements driven by collective speculation. While these surges can be enticing, they also serve as a reminder that silver, like any asset, is influenced by both fundamentals and human behavior. And yet, despite all the analysis, there's always an element of uncertainty. No investment is guaranteed. Economic conditions shift, geopolitical tensions flare, and technological developments can either enhance or reduce demand. Silver is not immune to these forces. Some analysts caution that its historical volatility could continue, making timing and strategy essential. Yet this very unpredictability is what draws some investors. It's a chance to participate in a market that can respond dynamically to a changing world. Now, here's a question that often surprises people. Could silver someday rival gold in mainstream attention? Some observers suggest that as technology and industry continue to evolve, silver might gain recognition not just as an industrial necessity, but as a financial asset. Its dual role makes it unique. Where gold primarily serves as a hedge and a store of value, silver straddles the line between practical use and investment allure, giving it a versatility that few other commodities can claim. As we approach the conclusion of this exploration, it's worth reflecting on silver's journey through history, economics, and culture. It's a metal that has been undervalued and overlooked, yet always present, always useful, always part of the story of human civilization. The question isn't whether silver can rise in value, it's whether we are paying attention to the factors that might drive it in the years to come. Industrial demand, scarcity, market psychology, and global economic shifts all converge to create a potential tipping point. And here's the final thought to leave with. Investing in silver is more than chasing short-term gains. It's about recognizing opportunity where others see only a shadow of gold. It's about balancing risk with insight, history with innovation, and practical utility with financial strategy. Silver may not make headlines as often as gold, but that's exactly what gives it its quiet, compelling allure. For those who take the time to truly understand it, silver isn't just a metal, it becomes something much deeper. It carries a story shaped by centuries of human history, from ancient trade routes to modern technology. Long before digital currencies and complex financial systems, silver was a foundation of wealth, used in coins, jewelry, and global commerce. That legacy still lingers today, quietly reminding us that value isn't always defined by trends, but by trust built over time. At the same time, silver represents a strategy. Unlike many traditional investments, it sits at the intersection of industry and finance. It's not only a store of value, but also a critical component in electronics, solar panels, and medical applications. This dual role gives silver a unique position. Its demand isn't driven solely by market sentiment, but also by real-world necessity. For investors who look beyond the surface, this creates opportunities that feel both practical and forward-thinking. But perhaps most importantly, silver can be a turning point in how we think about investment itself. In a world often focused on speed, speculation, and short-term gains, silver encourages a different mindset, one rooted in patience, diversification, and long-term perspective. It invites people to step back, to question where value truly comes from, and to consider assets that hold meaning beyond numbers on a screen. In the end, silver isn't just something you buy or sell, it's something you understand. If this has sparked your curiosity about silver and how it might fit into your investment journey, take a moment to share your thoughts in the comments. Do you see silver as an overlooked opportunity, or do you think it will remain in gold shadow? Hit like if you found this exploration insightful, and consider subscribing for more deep dives into investments, finance, and economic trends. Every discussion helps us all understand the changing world of money a little bit better. So the next time you glance at a silver coin, a polished bar, or even a solar panel reflecting the sunlight, take a moment to see beyond the surface. What looks like a simple, shining material is actually something far more meaningful. Silver carries with it a deep and layered story, one that stretches back through centuries of human civilization. It's been traded across empires, minted into currencies that powered economies, and valued by cultures around the world not just for its beauty, but for its reliability. But silver isn't only about the past, it lives just as strongly in the present. Today, it plays a critical role in modern technology, quietly powering the devices we use every day and helping drive innovations like solar energy. That solar panel catching the sunlight isn't just a symbol of the future, it's a reminder that silver is still shaping the world in real, practical ways. And then there's its potential. In a time where markets shift quickly and trends come and go, silver stands as something steady yet full of opportunity. It bridges the gap between tradition and progress, offering both security and growth for those who take the time to understand it. So the next time you see it, don't just see metal, see history in your hand, utility in motion, and possibility waiting to unfold, all at once. Perhaps it's time we stopped thinking of silver as the humble underdog and started considering what role it could play in shaping the future of investment.